Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and I'm joined with Dylan and Chase.
Nope.
We did it again. Dylan and I did it again.
Pulled him out of his interdimensional travel.
Right. Guy was surfing around like he owns the place.
Interdimensional travel to Home Depot.
Right.
This one.
Yeah. This one, we watched a movie called Parasite. And man, what a good movie that was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Won 4 Academy Awards, one of which included Best Picture.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't know. I was just about to ask that. I was like, what awards did it get? Because, man, that was spectacular.
Yeah.
I think one of them was, or probably two of them were probably best storytelling and best acting.
Right. I would believe that.
I wouldn't
I would
doubt
too.
it.
Man, there were certain scenes in that I thought were shot very well. There was a lot of really nice camera motion and, like, just overall scene work. And I thought that, like, there were some really cool transitions. It was awesome. I just loved everything about the look of the movie. They did a really great job of showing the difference between the, like, lower class system and then the upper class. There was just this very large gap is what it felt like. For those of you who don't know, this movie is about a family of low-income people. Very in Korea? Is it North?
South Korea.
South Korea, okay.
North Korea would not allow this film to be
Oh, yeah, I didn't think so.
to be released.
Definitely because of that one scene making fun of Kim Jong-un.
Oh,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course. But it is a movie about a family that, you know...
Isn't praising Kim Jong-un.
The son, I think, is kind of the main character for the start. Well, I mean, I think he's the main character throughout. Obviously, the main of the whole movie is the family.
Right.
The family.
The family.
But the son is obviously the first one who gets his foot in the door with this rich family, this rich house, and he kind of like slowly but surely works the rest of his family into working different positions.
Recommended as an English tutor from his friend.
Which, man, what an interesting turn of events.
Yeah.
I didn't think the fortune stone was gonna play such a big role.
Right.
I mean, it didn't play like a very huge role, but it definitely was a very interesting little tidbit. But they and again, I heard the name, and again, I didn't assume anything outright because again, I'd never seen this movie before. But the name being called Parasite, I was like, okay, so I mean, you can only
You would think generally like an actual parasite.
and well, again, I didn't want to discredit it just in case something was to happen, and of course, like plot twist, it's an alien movie, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I didn't want it to be some kind of like. But as we got like the sister involved, and I think we got the dad involved, there's like a little bit of like they're all kind of playing this system,
Yeah.
and it is literally they're just a parasite off of this rich family or whatever.
Yep.
But I think some of them are actually getting attached, and it's like this whole, you know, some people are getting their feelings hurt and everything. But man,
Funny thing is, every time I mention this movie to Nick, who I don't think has ever seen it,
yeah,
he's just he always talks about the anime.
Oh,
Seem to be
yeah.
closer.
The Maxim.
just a little bit. Wait,
Okay.
what is it? There's an anime?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
an anime called Parasite, the Maximum, I believe.
Oh, I believe I've heard of that.
And
sort of.
every time me and Dylan ever mention, he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I've seen that." I'm like, "The movie,
No,
right?"
yeah,
No,
yeah.
you haven't.
Oh, I see.
Parasite with a Y, I'm talking about.
Yeah. It is.
Wait, how's the other show spelled?
I think it's just spelled normally.
This.
Oh.
I think
Oh.
this movie is spelled regularly, but I think the show you're talking about is with a Y.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure?
I think I'm almost certain. I can double check though. But
Checked.
I thought the story. I thought the story was like it. It felt so natural.
Smooth as
It was really cool.
Like in very specific instances, this is actually something that could probably happen in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some dramatization stuff
Of
for
course.
it, but it doesn't feel over the top. It
Right.
doesn't feel
No.
like it doesn't feel bad. And
It's a very feasible situation.
yeah. So the movie we just watched is the correct way, which is
If-
SITE, I
Okay.
think.
If not that the whole thing happening in real life, at least maybe 50% of it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. This is weird. Okay,
What?
hold on. Oh, okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted.
It's all good.
Yeah, so Parasite with a Y is the anime.
Okay.
I've not seen that at all. I don't know what that is.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You don't want to. It's fine.
It's weird.
I thought all of the actors in this movie were really top notch. They were all very, very good. It just the whole story just felt seamless and it felt real and it didn't feel like it was because I think it's considered technically like a comedy thriller.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
I'd say that works.
Right. So again, it leans more towards the thriller aspect, but it does have funny moments in it.
Yeah.
And it is definitely, it definitely has that moment, that thriller moment where it's like, oh man.
How about that fucking twist?
I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the basement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't. So that was the part that I think was kind of confusing initially, and I was also very scared.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it usually always happens in that part of the movie where we're at our apex. We're at everything's going on cloud nine. Everything's fine. Everything seems to be great, and then all of a sudden it's like
disaster strikes.
You know that you're at the top of the roller coaster and shit's about to go down.
Because I remember me and Dylan saw this in theaters though.
Yeah,
I believe we spoke about it for about an hour.
Oh, I believe it.
Because I'd heard so much good things about it, so I was like, might as well go see it.
Of course. And then here you are.
Yep, watching it a second time.
Right.
Still good.
I could definitely. This definitely warrants a second watch.
However, it's one of those movies that's like, you got to take some time to
right.
watch
it
it again.
It's heavy.
Yeah, when did this movie come out?
2019. I have it right here in front of me. That's why.
That was a good years ago.
Yeah.
That feels a lot longer away than it actually was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for real. I think I remember you guys actually going to see this movie and talking highly of it, and I was like, I haven't seen it. Don't tell me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really good.
That's awesome. You guys want to hear? You want to hear something awesome?
Oh no.
The budget in U.S. dollars was $15 million. Not bad. It's kind of a lower budget, I think, or lower end. But the box office was $260 million.
They made their money's worth.
Talk about a return.
You definitely made your money off this movie.
If there was one thing from that movie I could have, I'd probably be that house.
Yeah. It's a really nice
The
house.
rich family house.
Oh yeah.
Is definitely like it has the modern house aesthetic,
a stack
contemporary
of different sized squares.
Yes.
I also like how the
shades
whole thing,
of dark gray and brown wood.
Oh yes. I like how the whole thing seems to be like on a sort of platform hill type of thing.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Where like you could technically fall off the lawn in a sense, but you're not.
Right.
You're on your front lawn overlooking other houses that are beneath
land
you.
on someone else's roof.
Yeah. That's true though. That was something I wanted to say and I forgot.
Oh.
But I think it was just basically something along the lines of the story. It just felt so smooth, and it just it progressed in such a way that it didn't feel like it was like we're jumping or things were going all over the place or whatever. It felt very linear. But like I said, after that point where they hit that peak and everything starts going down, it happens immediately afterwards. The old housekeeper or whatever comes in there and, like, quote unquote, forgot something in the basement. And I was like, that's already a foul sign or whatever.
I personally, in that instance, probably would have tried to work with them because I don't think they were hostile at first.
No. I definitely would have had my guard up, though, because that's definitely suspicious. It's raining. You look beat to shit and back, and like you're coming down here like, I forgot something in the basement. Like, no. But no.
Also, if I was the family, I probably would have been more cautious on that stairway there.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't help that, like, again, we're talking about like true thriller movie aesthetic where it's like a solid concrete corridor, staircase downwards, green, very weird fluorescent light. I'm like, gosh, guys, come on.
And
clean it up a little bit.
To be fair,
horrific.
The like concrete stairway going down, I've stepped on those kind of stairs before, and him falling down them, like with a especially slippery when wet, definitely not a joke. So it's very, I could see that happening.
Understandable. Yeah. Right. It is a no joke once you get down to that like sub basement, the real sketchy part of it.
Yeah.
It just feels gross and scummy, and it's like, this can't be good. This is weird.
It's weird. I kind of like the aesthetic of it, but that might be more of the whole I guess Area 51 going down to
Right.
the bunker kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's like
Fallout shelter type deal.
Yeah. And that was what I was saying was I think it'd be cool. The idea, first of all, we live in the South where basements are not a thing. Right. So obviously we can't have basements because the ground's too soft. But it would be cool to have a basement, first of all, for a whole lot of stuff. But to have like a hidden bookshelf secret basement is even cooler. Not for anything weird or suspicious or anything, but just the fact that like it'd be really cool to have some kind of like secret hidey hole thing or whatever.
Oh yeah.
To do all kinds of, cool like entertainment stuff or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But like I would definitely do, some kind of like warmer tone lighting or, like make it aesthetic, please. Make it bright.
Cozy.
Not so dank and wet and
foreboding.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome
eerie
to
green.
my gaming channel. Come step down to the old bunker from World War II with dim lighting.
You just pull back a bookshelf and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not going down there. No, thank you. That's where I go to get killed. Yeah. There was definitely a point whenever she's the old housekeeper lady is frantic and she's trying to get the bookshelf pushed away, but she can't because something's jammed underneath it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she was able to get it out with the help of the wife of the family and of the main character's family. Obviously, I don't know their names very well because I'm not really good with Korean names, yeah. But they finally get it open and she's like frantically running down these stairs and like getting down there, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna get like this is where the twist is. This is where either there's like devil worship or a sacrificial altar or some weird child creature or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, this is where the parasite comes in or something. I was like, oh no, it's definitely not that. But I was like, here we go, this is it, guys.
It's just her husband.
Of course, yeah. But even weirder, it's like, how did you get down here? Why are we here? What is going on? Like,
yeah.
And then of course, it starts to unfold that he's been down here for like 40 years and evading loan sharks and all that. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's so scary.
Two things that I can remember off the top of my head that I like that kind of come back would be, whenever the dad of the household is walking up the stairs and the lights come on.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I love how you might be wondering, for example, why are they coming on? Oh, it's that guy in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second thing, which I just forgot, sadly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it'll come back to me.
Man,
probably.
I never quite understood that, but it's very strange. The guy downstairs was using one of the lights as like a Morse code signal and was signaling the son, like the youngest boy of the rich family. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was what I was trying to figure out. Like, he was just trying to tell him like to bring him food or something like that, or what was the
help me?
Help me.
Sorry,
okay.
help me.
Actually, I just remember the other two things I was going to say. The other one is I like how he saw him whenever he was younger, had a seizure because he thought he saw a ghost.
That shit was terrifying.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That one frame.
I'd have been traumatized too.
The kid.
That one frame.
Yeah, the kid goes down. Oh, that was. It even kind of haunts me now. The kid, supposedly a handful of years back, sneaks in in the wee hours of the night, sneaks into not the pantry, the fridge, and takes out a whole cake and starts just going to town on this cake.
Birthday cake.
Hell yeah, he's going to town on the birthday cake on the floor, and then turns his head right to go look at the basement stairs, the regular basement stairs. And then as you see this little head starts peeking up, and again, it's not just like someone normally looking at you. I think they deliberately shot it this way, but the guy's looking like down his nose a little bit with his eyes up, so you can see the top whites of his eyes. And dude, however they shot that in that dark ass scene to make his eyes just be the only thing that really sticks out. Yeah. His head just peeks up and all you see is his eyes, maybe a little bit of his nose, and it's just like, oh. And of course then the mom cuts out of the flashback and screams like, ah, or whatever, but does it in such a way that's like, it was just, it was eerie. It made my skin crawl. I was like, oh no, that's so weird, dude.
Yeah.
It was very good though. I was like, I could definitely tell why a kid would have a freaking seizure at that or something.
Oh, definitely. I love how whenever the kid sees him again, like 5 years later,
right,
it just initiates seizure again.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, in his defense, like you see this ghost that's been haunting you come up with a knife and just stab a bitch.
Yeah.
Not even stab a bitch. Stab your like art teacher. Yeah. You're like this person that you're like looking up to who's like helping you and all that kind of stuff. Just like just kills her. And it's like, oh my god, the ghost is real.
The third thing I remember was, you know how the dad at the end sneaks into the basement?
Right.
Like, it goes into the garage and goes through the basement through there.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept thinking about the cameras and going, well, how did they not see him? And then whenever they showed that one shot of that camera again, I remembered, she cut it.
Yeah, she cut the wires once upon a time.
Which I was like...
Everything just kind of fits together, and it's so coincidental.
Yes.
And it's all that stone of fortune.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things Sean mentions about with the... When you show it in a scene,
yes,
it should appear later.
Yeah, there is
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, there is a very well-known... I believe it was in plays. It's in, like... I mean, I think it's also in movies, obviously, but I think it originated in, like, a play.
Mm-hmm.
Is if you have a gun in a scene... By the end of the movie, you're supposed to at least shoot it, like, or if you're gonna make it
or do something with
exactly.
it.
If you're going to make an effort to show it,
and
make it a point, at least have it pay off at some point, kind of thing. Not all the time it has to be like that, but a lot of times that's kind of what it's supposed to be.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is if you're gonna make a big deal about a gun, someone's got to shoot it before the scene's over with. So. And that definitely happens with that camera because I didn't actually notice that the wires were cut the first time because it's dark and it's raining, and then that's whenever like I said, the downward spiral happens. Is the housemaid cut the wires to the CCTV camera outside that focuses on the garage because she's like, I just didn't want anything weird to happen while the Rich family was away, so I can come in here and check on my husband or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I gotta say, it's interesting how the rich family, the poor family, both have 4 people in the family.
Right.
And they both end up losing somebody.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they, like, poor family
the
obviously
parallels.
lose the daughter.
Right.
And then the rich family loses the father. And it's like, well, they both lost somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting that it's both a family of, like, it's a mom, dad, son, and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You're right, though. That house is freaking beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to have a house
I wonder
like
if
that.
it's based off a real house.
It probably is, to be honest.
Probably too expensive for us, though.
Yeah.
It depends on what the Korean currency looks like.
That's true.
I don't know what the conversion rate is, but let's go ahead and look it up. Man, the father of the poor family, like our main character's family,
Mr. Kim.
Yeah, Mr. Kim.
Quote unquote.
I thought his his character was like his character arc was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of plays the dad just trying to take care of his family, but also kind of seems a little contempt towards certain things or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
As his family's starting to get good and I don't want to say do good because it's kind of they're obviously leeching off his family. But once his family's starting to do something and make money for themselves and do a pretty good job, he obviously starts his demeanor changes and all that kind of stuff. But there's like a few scenes where, again, Mr. Kim really finds out that, like, again, this is all just like a surface level thing. Mm-hmm. That, again, this is just a job of some kind. They really don't care about you. And no matter how much you may pretend to be in this rich society, you are still just a poor person pretending to be in this rich society, or at least in his mind. And so it's like you're never quite on their level, and they make you feel that way sometimes.
As soon as the lack of human decency is uncovered to him, he loses it.
Yes, exactly. And there's a point in time where, like, it starts off with, again, after, I would say, some of the most intense moments of the film, whenever the camping trip that the rich family goes on gets canceled because of rain and flood, all that kind of stuff. They end up coming back home, and they have, like, 10 minutes to, like, freaking make the house look clean and figure it all out and dispose of their ground-dwelling friends.
Yep.
They have to, like, do all that, but the family is still in the household. And it's like, it's just the most intense part because, again, the whole family, basically, besides the housekeeping mom, is like underneath the dining room table while the rich family is just sleeping on the couch. And it's like, oh man, the tension of those scenes was really well done. Mm-hmm. But that was like the first scene that the father of the poor family really gets to find out that, like, even though he may pretend like he has a friend in the rich guy, he really just is,
just a job.
Just a job. Yeah. That's all he is.
That's
nothing
actually
but a servant.
That's how I would view it, as just a job.
Right.
I wouldn't, unless you got really close by some kind of strange coincidence or something.
Right.
But the other thing I like or find just hilarious is that one scene where that whole fight takes place.
Yeah.
Where everything's just going crazy.
Oh, yeah, just mass hysteria.
And I kind of like how the guy's like, hey, I need you to drive as somebody's being attacked and somebody's bleeding on the ground.
Right.
But I like how as he throws him the keys, the other guy lands on it. And even after he's trying to move the other guy's body to get to the keys, he is still clenching his nose up at the, like,
because of the stench.
I mean, in the rich guy's defense, that guy cannot smell good. I'm sorry, the guy who's been basically, I don't even think he has a shower down there. He has a toilet.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, he's got to be friggin' festering in his shame down.
To be fair, I think if you were in, like, a hectic situation like that, I don't think you
would
really
not take the time to go like, oh, P.U.
I don't know. I'm sorry, but if I smelled a guy who hadn't showered in 40 years and I'm trying to, maybe not. I'm not saying like I wouldn't.
Everything would be happening so fast.
You're right, but that's also obviously I'm trying to defend that scene because that's the turning point for our father character. Is where he really gets to see.
As soon
like,
as he sees him do that, he's like, oh, I'm about to.
Right.
You're dead.
Because again, the correlation that happens is while he's underneath the coffee table talking, like sitting there trying to be silent while basically the rich family is sleeping on the couch. They're obviously shit-talking him, and some of like majority him actually shit-talking how bad he smells and how much he smells like a boiled rag and like an old radish or something. And it's like like really shit-talking him, and it's like he's a really great guy, but man, he just stinks. And it's like you can tell that like it may not mean a whole lot. It doesn't mean a whole lot in the moment. He kind of smells his shirt and is kind of like, it kind of upset about it, but then there's a couple more times where it happens where the wife does it. It kind of gets to him, and it's like again, it really sets in that you are just a job position. That's all you are. You are expendable in their lives, and that's all it is.
It'd have been interesting if they were just like, "Hey, can we get you some different laundry detergent?" Or something?
Right, yeah, or get you some laundry detergent. Period, like just anything.
Right.
But I think it's also the fact that like again, they probably don't shower very much. It's just a thing that probably doesn't happen very often.
I think how they wash their clothes is I think they just put it in boiling water.
Right.
I think that's all they do.
Yikes.
So that's probably why.
But yeah, so that in that scene where the rich guy is trying to get his keys, and he has to roll over this guy who hasn't showered ever. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here in that situation and go like, oh, P.U., I cannot believe the stench.
Right.
But I would probably bend down and go, oh, God, dude.
Yeah.
As
like,
your
you definitely see it on your face.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's that. I mean, by the fact that him holding his nose is just kind of I think a little cherry on top. The fact that he's probably a pretentious asshole.
Yeah.
But
as your son's having a seizure, like
exactly,
you're still thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, like again, like I said, it's in the movie writer's defense, it's in slow motion, so it feels more drawn out and deliberate and purposeful. It probably happens very fast in real live action. But it definitely is you are seeing it from the eyes of the dad of the family, where he's like looking at this man and
standing over your daughter who is bleeding out.
Yes, exactly. And then him sitting there and is still just as upset about the stench that's in the air. And it's like my daughter is dying, and it's that breaking point for that character where it's like I am in the process of losing everything, because at that point again we don't know. He just watched his son with a bleeding head get like carried off or whatever somewhere.
His wife is fighting this would-be
murderer. And I thought that she got slashed or cut or something. I'm not sure how she's doing.
Oh yeah, he got her like one good time in the arm.
Yeah,
I like how there was one guy that tried to help and it's just like, nope.
Yeah, right. Not I ain't having it. I wonder at the end.
Mm-hmm.
There's this very interesting moment where it's like a flash forward. After all the commotion happens, everything's done with. And again, it's the son writing a letter to his dad, being like, I'm going to make money one day. I'm going to get an education. I'm going to get all of it. And then I'm going to buy this house.
You're wondering if that's actually happening?
I mean, well, at first, it felt actual because of the way how the movie progresses in showing you it. Was that girl that was behind him, was that...
That was the mom.
I mean, like on the staircase, like going up to it, because it didn't look like his mom. It looked like a different person. And I was like, was that his girlfriend?
No,
those were the real estate people.
Two of them?
I'm assuming.
So. Okay, wow. I thought it was like one real estate agent, and I thought the girl that was there was like his significant other.
Oh, I thought it only counted 3, but I could.
I mean, there was 3 people. There was him. There was a girl who was like talking about, oh, it's so spacious and so nice. Yeah, and there's this other girl that's also there with him, like, you know, walking up there and like turns around and looks at him or whatever. I didn't get a good look at her, but I was like, was that the daughter from that other family? I mean, if so, it's kind of crazy.
I think she just disappeared.
Probably
I think after the whole you're a sham or whatever kind of came out, I was like, I was probably have I don't want to.
He basically wakes up. He wakes up from some sort of a coma almost,
mm-hmm.
and then, like I said, it kind of, as he's reading this letter, that you're seeing time progress where there's all these events happening. He's mourning his sister's loss, or sort of, and then there's all this stuff going on. But then, like, it cuts back to the old house from the original, like literally, and I thought it was so cool, like mirroring the beginning and the ending. It's the first shot from the beginning of the movie where they're looking out this like semi-basement suite, and it's like panning down over like this kind of kitchen room table they have.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he's like, until then, like, just take care and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They were like, both Dylan and Chase here were saying that like that the events that happened in the flash forward were like actually happened.
That's what I like to believe.
And I believe it too, to an extent, because again, it progresses between him like coping with his sister's death, and like it shows the stepstones to get there, so it makes it feel more connected. If we just flash forward to him in the house, I would say that feels like him envisioning it in his head. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what it felt like whenever it snaps back to what it felt like. It snaps back to reality, and it's like, until that day, whenever it may come, and it's like, oh yeah, well that's just a fake. You know, he's just he's reminiscing on like, what would it be like if I was to be in the front yard and my dad was to come out of the basement? Because again, it's also like there's technically people that live in that house right now, so you also have to wait for them to leave if they leave, and so it's like that's what was kind of confusing in that moment, because I was like, how many years has it been? If this, I think they said they were German. If this German family's residing here for a long time, this nice house, like I wouldn't want to leave anytime soon unless you're just, you know, here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of confused. I was like, has it been like 10, 15 years where he's just still chilling out in the basement? Because that's kind of like that's a rough living, dude.
Well, I remember when I first saw that movie, whenever he gets hit the first time in the head,
dude, I was
with
like,
the rock,
this is it.
I was just like,
figure he's dead at that point.
The second time, I think,
like, okay,
I think both times it actually makes me like kind of just squirm a little bit in my seat, because it's like, ooh.
Yeah, it was definitely hard. Even though that prop, the first scene they did, it was a very much like a thriller movie scene where our antagonist, the crazy man from downstairs, holds up the fortune rock, the rock of destiny, and is standing there, and the camera is facing up from the ground floor, and he then drops it like in front of the camera, so you don't see the action, but you're like, he definitely dropped that heavy rock on his head.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. The second scene, you get a nice pool of blood, a little sideways body motion, and then he just like chucks it at the top of his head, and it kind of bounces off, and of course I thought it was very interesting, which I think is kind of a nod to the fact that he's still alive, but I really don't think that's how that works, is his hand kind of
twitches.
His hand kind of twitches there.
I was wondering if you noticed that.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I was like, at that point I was like, it's just rigor mortis. His body's just like, you know, like seizing up or whatever. Because I was like, yeah, he's definitely not. But if it was a prop, especially if it's like a foam prop where he just bonks on his head, it was very believable. Where it just like it hits, and then like it doesn't bounce or anything. You're like, oh shit, that looks like it hurt.
Yeah,
rock just fell on your head.
But can I say, the former housekeeper lady that was like tending to the crazy man downstairs, whenever she comes back up, and then the mom character just like kicks her down the stairs, and she rolls down the stone stairs to the bottom, I was like, ooh, that's not gonna be okay. Yeah. She's not okay. And then lo and behold, I think she actually did eventually die, which I was like, that's crazy, dude. Oh man.
Boy, did.
That was rough. That was very rough. And of course, that also was another catalyst too of like the crazy man downstairs was already losing his mind and was already not in a good mental state, probably because he's been in a basement, or not even in a basement, in just like a dungeon for 4 years.
Yeah.
He's not okay. Nope. And so it's like, oh dude, and then literally have it being duct taped to a pole with your like with a gag, like a shirt gag around your mouth, and then just watching your wife die. It's like, oh shit, dude, this guy's messed up, dude. So that's real messy, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pain.
yeah. I thought it was real sad that the daughter died. Like
Dude, she was like my favorite
oh, she was such a cool character, dude.
Yes.
I was like, man, that's
I was very sad when she died after I saw it the first time too.
yeah.
And
she played the role of like the snooty art teacher very well.
Oh yeah,
because she kind of seemed nonchalant, kind of goofy and crazy in like the home setting, or whatever. But whenever she dressed up, and the first time that she was like there as this like pretentious art teacher
like
with this rich family,
and almost like dead serious.
I believed it. Now again, obviously I know it's a good actress as well.
yes.
But the character inside the movie flipping that switch into being like very matter of fact was like, this is the way I do things. This is it. And it's not making a big deal. It's not fighting. The only thing I can say was it's very stoic.
Yeah.
It was just, she just sat there and was like the mom was like, I'm gonna sit in with the first lesson. She's like, no, that's not how things work. I'm going to
wait outside, please.
Wait outside, please.
Yes.
And it's like, and then not only that, whenever like the housekeeper's standing there and is like just watching over, and is like, I would like to speak to the madam alone, please. And he's like, well, actually, I would like to stand. And it's like, alone. You can wait outside.
Right.
This is what's going to happen. I'm going to speak with her alone. And it's like, oh shit, dude. It's one of those situations where I'm not going to get pushed around. I'm the one making the rules here, and you will listen to me. And then like a few scenes later, she's like, I literally just Googled art therapy and just literally ad-libbed the rest. And I was like, well, damn, that was a good job, dude. I believe that wholeheartedly, man. That was so good.
Improvisation is a talent.
Oh yeah.
I'd probably say the score for this movie would probably be a 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh,
definitely.
It was very good. The only thing I think I didn't notice, which I think is kind of interesting, is like the music of the movie. I didn't notice anything big or changing with the music, but I think that's the only thing I think I would probably make certain scenes I think better.
Yeah.
Was like just a little bit of like something like that tension moment or something. I think there was something there.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
They have some string crescendos in a few scenes.
Ironically, I remember No Country for Old Men, I think either has no music through the whole entire movie, it's just silent.
Wow.
Or there might be like one song at one point. I think that might be the credits.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, so
right.
Because I remember watching a review on that, and I think they said everything feels a little more suspenseful.
Right.
With no music a little bit. Feels a lot more real.
Oh, man. You want to know what I want to do with you guys?
What?
At some point, because there is a second part to the movie, and I haven't watched it yet, is
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place.
Yes.
I haven't seen it either.
Dude, okay, I have. I saw
have?
it in the movie theater, and when I tell you that was a great movie to watch in the movie theater, especially with the crowd that I was there with, not a lot of people said anything, and it was very quiet and very hush-hush.
Right.
Because I know some theaters can get a little noisy and a little rambunctious.
You went and saw part 2?
No, I went and saw the first one when it came out.
Oh,
okay,
we did too.
When I was in Canada.
Yeah.
I would love to watch
that was
them.
Back when you were in Canada?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It came out when I was in Canada. I was like, that's crazy.
Oh, God.
So I saw it there, and what I tell you, man, you want to talk about sound design, or hear me out,
fantastic.
The lack thereof. Obviously, I'm kidding, but because there is a lot of Foley work and stuff for that movie. Yeah. But dude, wow, I want to find if it's streamed on something, or if we can buy it or whatever, and then watch.
Yeah, they've definitely. I know part 2 is out on DVD.
But what I'm saying is, I want to rewatch the first one because it's been so long, and I want to watch it on our nice sound system. I know it's probably not going to be the same.
It's damn near close enough.
I mean, it's pretty close enough. Yeah, I made sure that we have a pretty okay TV. It's probably not the best in the world, but we have a really good sound bar, so that way the sound stage is amazing.
Yeah, it's literally making me want to look like left to right.
Oh
whenever certain things happen. Like whenever
shot a little arrow. The sun shot.
Whenever I heard the arrow, it sounded like it came from the left of me, and I immediately wanted to look left to go.
What the fuck? What's going on here? I'm getting shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did that deliberately. I was like, a TV. Obviously, visuals is a big deal, but for me, sound is
a big one.
Sound is a big thing for me that I think really does carry a movie a lot of time. I've been told by professionals, and also I even practice in my own world, is like you can have a very probably grainy, not very nice looking, like pretty looking video. Like you can have a low quality video, but have crisp, clean audio, and people will probably watch it all the way through, and it's totally fine. But the second you have a crisp, like 4K pretty visuals, but you have crackly, shitty audio, a lot of times people will just be like, I don't want to listen to this. I don't want to. Yeah, it just really does. It sets the tone, I think.
Luckily for us, Evangelion had both.
Oh, and I was hoping that we could find a segue. Thank you, Chase. Man, dude, thank you. You watched the new Evangelion?
Yeah, I watched it with y'all.
He was there.
Oh, you were the first one. And then we watched it with John second. Yes, okay, you were.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, because
okay.
I remember at certain points I was saying, wow, this is really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, I was wanting to get to that. We watched. Oh man, I don't even know how to start. I don't want to talk about it too much here because I would love to have its own episode, to be honest. But we could just go ahead and say it. Thrice Upon a Time, the fourth and final installment of the Evangelion movie came out, and I am pleased.
Yes,
it was great.
Yes.
And again,
basically has the best ending.
Oh, it was so great.
Good ending.
The best ending of what you could ask for.
Right.
Yes.
Especially compared to the other shows.
Especially compared to the end of Evangelion.
Oh, the previous end of Evangelion. This is my new headcanon end of Evangelion.
End.
Yes,
the second end.
I guess one day we're gonna have to take time to just watch every movie up to that one, just to get everything, all the information together.
We did. Both Dylan and I watched the first three movies. That way we had a pretty good understanding of the fourth one. Or I requested it because I was like, I have watched them all, a couple of them, but I wanted to
it had been long enough that a refresher would be warranted.
It's weird. Evangelion is one of those movies or TV shows that I'll watch. Give it a couple of months, I'll forget everything.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
It's like, because I've watched it maybe, I want to say 3-4 times now.
Yeah.
And every time I watch the TV show, I'm like, yeah, I forgot that happened.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah. But anyways, but going back to the movie, do you guys have any one part in particular that was your favorite about this movie, Parasite?
Oh, man.
There was one part for me that really stuck out, and I thought it was actually really good, and it was a very minor scene. It probably wasn't my favorite part, but it was the one that impacted me a whole lot, was whenever our main character, the son of the poor family, whenever he's in the room with the girl, and they're kind of making out and having their fun time, and she asks him, like, are you thinking about somebody else, like, while we're kissing or whatever? And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And she's like, well, you're doing it right now. You're thinking about somebody else.
Okay, it's not somebody else. It's actually a place. It's that basement.
Well, exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, there's the basement. I think also
it's the man downstairs.
The two people that are dead downstairs, potentially.
Right.
So it's like, obviously, that was very impactful. But then, after he kind of snaps out of it, looks at her, he's like, do I fit in here? Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, man, that really hits in a whole new way.
I think she had no clue what he was talking about.
Oh, I mean, 100%. But again, I think it just meant a lot for his character of I can tell even he's questioning
do I belong?
Do I belong?
Yeah.
Do I even fit in here, or am I just? Because he's starting to question all of it, and then of course he he says the stone of fortune is gravitating towards him a whole lot.
Yeah,
clinging to me. Yeah. And then that's what he does. He pulls it out of his backpack and then just holds it for a second. And, of course, she's like, what is this or whatever. But, it really does show that he's questioning, if all this is him or is it just this magic stone.
If it is the stone, I guess it's good he threw it into the river so no more misfortune
befell
anybody.
Yeah. But, I wasn't wrong, though. I wasn't wrong whenever he dropped it down the stairs, and I was like, I don't know the magic juju of this fortune stone, but if you don't possess the stone, you don't have the fortune. And then lo and behold, he gets, knocked upside the head with the rock because it wasn't his possession anymore.
As soon as it fell down the stairs, I would have started closing that thing back. Just
like,
nope, this isn't the time.
I would have gone down and grabbed my rock and then walked away.
I wouldn't even done that. I'd immediately closing that thing back.
Yeah, crazy, dude. Anyways, is there any one part in particular that really stands out to you that you like?
Mine would probably have to be that final confrontation at the birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
Man escapes from the basement and starts killing folks left and right.
Oh, my God.
Are you saying, like, scenes that stick with you?
Yeah, I guess. Or, like I said, just favorite parts or parts that really spoke to you or something.
I say the scene that sticks with me is probably that one shot of him coming up the stairs, just staring at the camera.
Yeah.
It haunts you. I want to see if I can't look that up.
It's like something out of the fucking Grudge.
Yeah, it literally is like a horror movie vibe.
Because honestly, if I had somebody staring at me like that, which is, you remember that time I told you I had that dream where I literally got up out of my bed and booked it out of my room?
Yes.
I want to say probably give the person under my bed looking at me about like that. And that's pretty much...
that'll do it.
I think what I was doing was making a tactical retreat.
Chose flight in that instance.
Like,
yes.
Imagine you round a corner, stop, and then whatever comes around the corner after you're just going to, like, deck them or something.
Yeah.
I think that was my plan, and then I heard nothing behind me. I was like, wait a minute.
This was not real.
Dude. Oh, man, I'm just looking at some, like, shots from the movie. And, man, it just... Oh, the camera work is so nice in this movie.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the scene in particular where he... where he comes up the stairs. The only thing I could find is a very hyper zoomed in photo of him, and it's it's terrifying, but it's not nearly as scary as the whole thing. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, it didn't load.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's see. Here it is.
It's like 240p or something.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a really shitty, super zoomed in.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of shots, though, back to Evangelion.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I think there was like 2 shots in that movie that were very, very pretty, and I think one of them was kind of where Shinji was fishing.
Oh yeah.
In that abandoned tower or whatever.
That is a good one.
And I think the other one.
Oh god.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah, that's like super slowed down, huh?
Yeah.
God.
Oh, it's terrifying. Oh, anyway, sorry. I just showed them
something like that happens. I'm moving the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm a kid and that happens in my house and I see that, I'm like, nope.
Nope.
No. Anyways, there's some very, very pretty shots in that movie.
That actually reminds me. I was listening to a story. I don't know if I could find it again, but there was a murder case back, I want to say, in like the 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
If not, it was earlier than that, a long time ago. And this family moved into a house, and I think some of the kids were telling their parents they could hear what sounded like something in the walls.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
And I think one day, whoever knew the family came by to visit, and because they hadn't heard from them in like a couple of weeks, found them all dead in there.
And no, dude.
And I think it turned out there was somebody living in their walls.
No.
And I think they had like little peep doors so they could see them. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself,
awful.
Oh, that's so...
How can you live inside walls?
I don't know. I still question that, but I think it was like a really big house.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like maybe one of those...
like Victorian era houses?
One of those, or maybe one of the old like Civil War type houses.
I see.
Because I know it was very, very old house.
That's crazy.
And I'm just thinking...
I heard a similar story about someone like living in a person's attic for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I heard something...
oh come on, it was like an attic of a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like this person had been living in the attic of like I can't remember what it was. Like some kind of department store way back in the day.
Was it a department store or was it actually a house?
I want to say there's probably a story for both that I've heard before in the past, and I'm probably just conjoining the two.
Because I actually remember one very, very vividly hearing about. It was this guy kept finding stuff missing every so often. And he kept thinking it was odd, but was just like, well, maybe I ate that. Maybe I drank that. Just a little weird.
No, you didn't.
Like you know, maybe
somebody did.
Maybe you had one soda left and it just appears, and you're like, okay, that's weird. But I think he lived on his own.
No.
Or he was either on his own or just with his girlfriend, because I know it was like a really small apartment.
On his own.
Yeah, right. I see how it is.
He got really suspicious of it one day, so he set up a camera in his living room. In the video, you see somebody crawl down from like, I don't know, a higher place where you could put like books or something, where it's like a decent enough crawl space where you could like lay up there and just like sleep or something, or curl up in a ball.
Right.
You see this person just kind of drop down one night, go to his fridge and everything, and just take a bunch of stuff out. And I think as soon as he saw that, I think he called the police.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the only thing I would do at that point.
And
I would immediately vacate the premises and call the police and be like, there's a man hiding in my attic. Right. And I have footage to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, the last one I remember was this one lady entered her apartment. I think she could somehow see the guy under her bed just a little bit.
Oh, dude, no.
And
I'm sorry, no.
So she audibly said, "Oh, I must have forgot something outside, or I forgot my bike outside."
Nope.
Called the police. Police came in there, got him out from under there, arrested him.
Dude. Oh, my God. That's the worst. I can only imagine as a police officer in that moment, you're like, it's probably just a crazy old coot, just like, you know.
She was like in her 20s.
Even there's a crazy 20-year-old. She's like, there's a crazy 20-year-old, a little spooked at night, living alone, whatever. You just go in there and he's like, I guess we'll just check on anything. Oh, shit.
Hello.
Get the hands on your head. What do I do at this point? You just lose all training. You're just like, oh, my God.
Funny enough, I think he actually was planning on killing her.
No. Oh, no,
so
dude.
It's like...
That's the worst. It's like, not even that. You also have intent of murder. It's like, nah, dude, you're out. That's freaking messed up.
Luckily for me, I can't even fit under my own bed, so...
Nice.
So somebody else fitting under my own bed is going to just impress me anyways.
Right. I just have so much shit underneath my bed that, like, there's no way anyone can actually get underneath there.
Same here.
Yeah, so, anyways. This was a good movie, dude. Yeah. I really like this a lot, and I do think this warrants like a second watch. Before we leave, though, I know we talked about this, or we had mentioned it just a second ago. The one United States dollar is worth, I don't know how much this is or what this actually means, but one American dollar is worth 1,175 South Korean won.
Wow.
I don't know what that is, but
is that a lot?
I guess. I mean, yeah. Or it's 1,000 of whatever they have.
It's more than $1.
So I mean, I don't know what like the cost of living is, but if you have basically, if you have $100, you have $117,000, I think, in South Korean money. I don't know if that's a lot, but I mean,
because if that is a lot, like if that registers for like each one's 1,000 or something,
right.
I could just go live over there probably for the rest of my life.
I think it probably works like yen does, where you just add an extra zero possibly.
Yeah,
so it's like technically
100 yen is $1 for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's like, you have 117,000. It's like you actually have like $117. That's all it is technically. So, but anyways, thank you guys for watching. You can find us on all the major platforms, Spotify, Google, Apple, all those, We also have a Linktree /Ian Wolf. You can just type in The Aftermath on any podcast platform. You can probably find us. Thank you so much for joining us, Chase.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
I really appreciate your feedback. That
Taking
was also
time out of your busy
You also,
schedule.
This was your suggestion, too, for, the movie, and it was great.
Yeah.
You say suggestion, it was more of a prophesized event.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He had foretold that this day we would watch this movie, and I was like, I'll see it when it happens, and here we are.
He threw a chiseled tablet of stone through one of our windows.
Right. It was actually a perfect artist rendition of all three of us watching on our sofa. It was great.
There's also, what was that? Oh, there's also The Departed, Sicario.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So apparently he has other ones we're supposed to watch, so I'm looking forward to all
He's got
those.
those loaded up. We just don't know when he's going to chuck them our way.
More in the chamber.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyways, until those days happen, again, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye-bye.